Toastmasters and guests. It is my pleasure to welcome International Director of Region 11, Distinguished Toastmaster Aletta Rocha.
Over 11 years ago, Dineshrie Pillay left a corporate position to pursue her dream of coaching, leadership training, and becoming a conference speaker on the topic of leadership, and she hasn't looked back. She is here today to talk about how humanity has faced unprecedented times in the wake of COVID-19, and how the global community of Toastmasters can effect powerful change. She reminds us that each of us is a member with the ability to speak, to impact our communities, our organization, and our society at large through presentations, speeches, and online communication. Her talk will detail exactly how you can do that. Please welcome Distinguished Toastmaster Dineshrie Pillay.
Thank you, International Director Rocha. Fear, anxiety, hopelessness. These are some of the emotions that describe how most people have faced and are currently facing during lockdown. It also describes the emotions that I've been going through during lockdown. In the initial phase of my own lockdown, as those days turned into weeks, I started to ask myself, what can I do to contribute to the upliftment of human spirit? I'm not a doctor myself, so I'm unable to contribute in the way of medical science in that way. But I am a distinguished Toastmaster, and I know the power of voice. I know the power of words to heal those emotions of pain, anxiety, and hopelessness. And so, using my skills of being a conference speaker myself and all those advanced manuals that I went through in becoming a distinguished Toastmaster, of being a persuasive speaker, how to uplift the spirit, I dug into my savings and I created an 8-minute and 55-second video to help people stay motivated during lockdown. I entitled this video, Humanity Shall Rise Stronger Than a Disease. I released this video on the 29th of May 2020 on all my social media platforms. And to date, that video has reached just over 60,000 people. Why am I sharing this with you? Because today I've taken out certain themes from that video, and I'll be telling you and helping you, guiding you as to why I believe humanity will rise stronger than a disease. I'm going to give you 6 of those reasons. You see, I'm on my own. I'm one Toastmaster. And with one motivational video, I created a ripple. But with just over 358,000 Toastmasters around the world, I know collectively, if each of us use our voice, that we can create a wave of hope. And that wave, combined, can uplift and deal with those emotions of fear, anxiety, and hopelessness. In order to understand where we are now, we first need to go back in history and figure out, how did our ancestors survive in order to get us here? And for that, we need to acknowledge that the body is amazing. Our human body is capable of thinking, moving, feeling, healing, evolving. On a daily basis, humankind, you and I, threats on a daily basis, accidents, war, natural disasters, and disease. And yet, through the evolution of time and through history, humankind have survived. We have adapted. We have fought disease. We have fought infection, and we find a way to survive. If you just look back 2 centuries ago, we were using leeches as a means of solving for disease. There were no vaccines, there were no hygiene, and there was no anesthetic. Death was painful and it was fast. Yet with every epidemic and pandemic, medical science evolved with it. And with each evolution of medical science, It helped to extend human life to where we are today. Let's look at a few of the major pandemics and epidemics that happened through history. Take the Black Plague, for example. It claimed just over 200 million people. But from that disease, we learned the importance of sanitation. Smallpox claimed just over 56 million people. And from that disease, we got our first vaccination. Cholera claimed 1 million people. And yet through that, we learned the importance of clean water and treatment of sewage. The story of COVID-19 is still unraveling, but so far, we are learning about the importance of washing our hands, of keeping our distance, and the importance of convalescence. When you are sick, you stay home and you get well. I mean, how many people do you know before lockdown, if they were sick, they still came to work? Now, the importance of staying at home and getting better. Medical knowledge that we have today has accumulated from what we have learned in the past. Why am I sharing all of this with you? Because I'm here to remind you that you and I, humankind, we survive, we adapt. Whenever our existence is threatened, we have many options. One of them is that we innovate, we become creative, and we adapt. If you just look at the series Survivor, they take people from all walks of life, from the comfort of their homes, put them onto an island and say, survive. Yes, they feel a bit uncomfortable first day, 2 days, second, third day, but as the days progress, they find a way to adapt. And it's very similar to how most of us felt working from home the first few days, the first few weeks. But after a while, we find a way to innovate and we adapt. If you consider just over 358,000 Toastmasters around the world, each one of you, me, all of us, we come from diverse backgrounds, different professional backgrounds, different geographies, different demographics. Just can you imagine the impact that you and I can have if each one of us does something to uplift the human spirit? Because of that geography, that spread, you and I can use voice as a tool to create a wave of inspiration. But why is voice so important? Because words have the power to shift consciousness in a matter of seconds. You and I have this ability to organize our thoughts in a way to make an impact. We have learned through evolution that communication has a role to play in our evolution. It is our key to survival. So I'm based in Johannesburg, and just outside Johannesburg is a place called Magaliesburg. And in there's an area called the Cradle of Humankind, where the first human bones were found. As you enter the Cradle of Humankind, there's a plaque, and it cites the 9 reasons that make us human. The 9th reason, out of interest, states simply that human beings have this ability to use complex language to communicate. Just the fact that it's there tells us that at our basic level, human beings have a desire to share information, to connect, to communicate. If you look back in history, in our ancestry, our ancestors drew art on caves. That's how they communicated. Later on, it moved on to horses, where messengers took information and transported via horses from one city or town to the next. Then it evolved to using trains, vehicles, planes. And right now, it's the use of digital technology in order to transfer information to one person, from one person to the next. The point is, we adapt. Right now, we are living in a world that's a global marketplace for sharing information, sharing ideas, and for the upliftment of human spirit. You and I have this tool, and with any tool comes the responsibility to use it wisely. Communication can be used as a means for unity, to uplift, to inspire, to bring people together, or it can be used for destruction through the promotion of fake news, any type of information that promotes fear and anxiety. and you and I are going to use it to create unity, because we have learned how to use this tool, and we can instill change in a world that is uncertain, confused, and gripped by fear. How do we do this? The same way that our ancestors have used communication in the past, through art, through music, through stories of hope, through literature. And if we do this as a collective society, we can create a social revolution using voice as a tool. So you might be sitting there thinking, yeah, but sounds great, but how do you outsmart a virus, Dineshrie? Well, let me tell you, how we fight a microscopic enemy, we act like one. Yes, you heard me right, we act like one. So what we need to do right now is look at the characteristics that make up a virus and how we can act and behave like a virus. Number one, a virus is spread globally in a matter of days. Yet you and I can spread a message of hope, of inspiration, of upliftment, of teaching, of knowledge in a matter of seconds. A virus infects one person, and that one person can infect the entire family, friends, community, their society. You and I, we can impact one person with a message of hope, and that one person can impact their own family, friends, community, and society. A virus lives as long as their host conditions is favorable. And a message of hope, it lives on as long as you, as the creator of that hope of message, keeps that hope message alive. A virus has a unique molecular structure that allows it to mutate and evolve. Human beings, on the other hand, have a molecular structure that's also unique to them, and through communication, through a message of hope and upliftment, you and I can rewire that molecular structure geared for survival. A virus is killed through antibodies with a precise mixture of bacteria that creates for the most powerful and potent treatment. You and I, collectively, as part of this member organization, can use communication as a tool and be the antibodies of fear, anxiety, and hopelessness. So, how do we take something so painful and turn it into something that empowers humanity? And my answer is love. Love is that all-encompassing emotion that binds, it heals, it adapts, it connects, it inspires. Love does and can change the world. Love does conquer all. Love has been and continues to be the strength of humanity. If I look at the love songs that have stood the test of time, that have been replayed over and over and over again, and even after years of its release, is still valid today. What are those songs? The Beatles sang, "All we need is love." And it's so true. All we need is love and compassion for each other. Celine Dion sang of the power of love. And right now within you is love. And that love has power. So what you need is to find that love within you and the love that exists all around you, because it's there. And Wet, 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 they sang the song, "Love is all around us." And again, either you look around and you see fear, anxiety, hopelessness, or you look around and you see love. And when you see love, it changes how you see things, it changes how you act. So, how do you show love and compassion in a way to override pain and fear? Because if you do this, you create an evolution. During this pandemic, I've seen lots of groups of people have random acts of kindness, and that's what I'm proposing here. I've seen people do small things and big things in the way of food donations, teenagers teaching the elderly how to use mobile devices and technology. I've seen people conduct medical distributions to the elderly. I've seen people and companies convert their warehouses and their distribution chain to supply COVID-19. Now, if each one of you, me, every one of us, we spend just 5 to 7 minutes to develop an inspirational message, to teach, to propose an idea, to uplift, and that message helps someone, collectively, you and I can transform and restore a sense of love and lifestyle, and that will create an evolution. So far, I've been using this word evolution a few times. Why is this? Because when I look back in history, I see that evolution has proven that as human beings, humankind, human society, we crave answers. We are constantly learning and we are constantly craving exploration in order to do things differently. We are a global species, undoubtedly. We can hop on a plane and we can go to any country in the world in a matter of hours. Right now, you can hop onto your desk at your home office, press click, and reach anyone in the world with the power of your message. So through evolution, we need to create a better world. And in order to create a better world, you and I need to adapt and change our assumptions of how we do things, how we deliver our message, how we create that possibility of hope. We hear of that line about the crazy ones. The crazy ones are those people who make connections in times of uncertainty that no one else has seen. Let's look at a few people that have been those crazy ones during epidemics and pandemics back in history. You have Alexander Fleming, who discovered penicillin by just being observant of mold and how bacteria reacted to mold. You have Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch, who created the germ theory that we know today. And we have Arthur C. Clarke, who did a rough sketch of how satellites could be in orbit. And if you have enough satellites in orbit, it creates constant communication that allows for technology that we have today. During COVID-19 and the implications of lockdown, it has created so much of uncertainty. But in times of uncertainty, explorers are born. And our ancestry has taught us that humankind are innate explorers. You and I can be these explorers. To do so, you and I need to embrace curiosity, and you need to embrace an explorer's mindset. Bertrand Piccard, he's the chairman and pilot of Solar Impulse, and he says the following: it's not the people selling candles that invented the light bulb, and exploration has a role to play if we want a better world. Finally, he says, the future is very different. You need an explorer's mind if you want to succeed in the future. And he said this a few years ago. How true is it today? If you and I embrace an explorer's mindset, we can adapt, we can evolve, and we can deal with the crisis that we have right now. What is the one tool that you and I can use to explore? It's technology. You see, in the last century, communication technology has advanced so much more faster than transport technology. Right now, commercial space travel is still in the pilot phases, yet communication, we can connect with anyone in the world as long as they have an internet connection. I believe when I look back at ancestry and how we got here today, that we have spent the last 100 years trying to get to places faster. We've built bigger planes, we've built bigger infrastructure, bigger vehicles. Everything is just faster and bigger. And right now with COVID-19, it has resulted in us taking a step back a little bit and forcing us to take all that stress out of the system. And what we were doing in the past, we can now simulate at home using technology. I believe coming out of COVID-19 would be a much more chilled out life, using technology as a way to impact and make a difference in the world. COVID-19 is bringing about an evolution in humanity. As 1 month leads into the next, we are all getting much more comfortable working from home. At some point, we're actually going to look back, and I've already been to that point myself, when I look back in my life and I think, did I actually live that stressed out life? And it's going to become a reality for everyone soon. So what is needed for you and I to do as Toastmasters and as communicators of change is to use this tool, this voice that you have, to teach, to inspire, to uplift. How do you do this? Through videos, social media, through song, through art, through music, through literature. The potential is endless. It's only limited by your imagination. So in summary, we are living in a global civilization. And in a global civilization, we have been exposed to many more cultures than we have been in the past. A disease has the effect of breaking down the divides that is created through politics, economics, geography, and social status. In order for you and I to stand united, we need to be reminded that humanity is built for survival. We exist. We need to use the tools of communication and voice to impact for good. We need to outsmart this virus by thinking, acting, and behaving like one. We need to embrace love because love heals and love connects. We need to become explorers to start this voyage of discovery. We need to use technology and shift the way we impact and share our message of upliftment, teaching, persuasion, and hope. If you and I do these 6 things, we can stand united as one species that's called humankind. And in that way, we will evolve. And if you've been following me, the E stands for existence. The V stands for using your voice. The L stands for the love that resides in you and all around you. The O stands for outsmarting this virus and thinking like a virus. The V is about starting your voyage of discovery in a new world post-COVID-19. And the E is to use explosive technology because technology is here and it's here to stay. Thank you, International Director Rashad.
Thank you, Dineshrie. If you would like to learn more about Dineshrie's topic, please visit the YouTube link included in the documents section below your viewing window to watch Humanity Will Rise as a Force Stronger Than a Disease. You can also find a direct link to Amazon Kindle to purchase Dineshrie Pillay's book entitled The Contract with Yourself. Please note that Dineshrie and all the education session speakers are excited to connect with you at their scheduled speakers showcase. Visit the agenda page for more details. Distinguished Toastmaster Dineshrie Pillay will be live to answer your questions on August the 27th at 10 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Please take advantage of the opportunity to learn more.